Hey everybody, I'm here at Little Italy Days in Bloomfield. And of course, this is the Bloomfield that everybody knows. But is it really the Bloomfield of today? What has changed here in this community and who is driving that change? I wanted to know.
I mean, clearly you're an institution. I mean, everybody that I talked to was like, you have to come here.
Or should be in one.
So can you talk a little bit just about the experience of having this space for so long and being here?
This is my life. This is my second home. Actually, if you count hours, this is my first home.
This is your first home. So this is your kitchen,
This
really?
is my kitchen, yeah. Not too many people are privileged to stand back here with me.
How long have you been here, first of all?
Been here a little over 31, 32 years.
Wow. Well, Maria's last name is Moranti, and guess what? There's another Moranti just down the street, and her name is Gina, and of course, only in Bloomfield, and really only in Little Italy, with baby sisters.
Gina was looking for a job. At that time, I was doing cooking classes. We did cooking classes for about 15 years. And the neighborhood then, and it has changed again since then, the neighborhood then had everything I needed for cooking classes except produce. So I said, gee, if you're looking for something to do, I said, we can do this together. I said, you know, we'll open a little produce market. You know exactly what to do. You have you know the connections that you need to contact to do that. And I will be your best customer.
People call you the patron saint of produce.
That is what they call me. I might leave the saint part out, but you know. This is not yours. This is a new apple. It's a lemonade apple. I ate one, finished it down to the core. I didn't taste the lemon, but it was really hard out, but you know.
How does it feel to be so established in that space, though?
It's actually a lot of fun. I was just telling everybody I don't have a bucket list. I'm doing somebody else's bucket list for them because I'm living my bucket list. I really am. Every single solitary day, somebody from Paddy Cake comes down my store.
When did you know, though, I'm going to take this place over?
Gosh, I only maybe about 5 years ago. This has been such a big part of my life since I was 14 years old. This is where I grew up. You know, this is where I learned to bake, learned to decorate. I started off when I was 14, folding boxes here during the holidays on the weekends.
So this was like a real family experience.
Right. Yes, every bit of it was a learning experience and growing up in family.
All right, so you live upstairs.
Yes.
Still. What a legacy you have.
Yeah, it was fun.
And now you're passing the torch.
Yeah.
How did that feel to have her take it over?
It felt great.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Well, Paddy Cakes has actually been around since the early 80s, and that's probably before some of the newer faces who live in this community were even born. And the way that they're reimagining and nourishing this space, let's say it's angelic. Justin, we're in church. Well, a new kind of church. We're inside St. Ravioli.
I'm of Italian-American descent.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, so it just, you know, kind of, you gravitate towards it. Really, it was the pandemic that kind of stirred me into like figuring out something that I could do, you know, maybe a food-related business that is pandemic proof, can't be shut down because I don't have a dining room or anything. The ravioli was free, and I did give a lot of it away for like a 6-pack of beer or whatever. Didn't have like prices or anything because it was just me out of my house.
Sure.
So I asked people to donate. Some people did, if they could. A buddy of mine joked around, and he actually doesn't even live in Pittsburgh. He saw what I was doing on Instagram. He lives in Denver, Colorado. And jokingly one day in a Zoom call, we were actually playing online poker. Some buddies, that was just something we did during the pandemic. And he's like, when I logged in, he's like, oh, there he is, St. Ravioli. And we all I watched like bulbs go off above my buddies' heads. And we're like, that's it, that's the name.
probably what comes to mind isn't even the beer or the coffee, but it's the inclusive vibe and the safe vibe. We try really hard to listen to our neighbors and our regulars who want to see, a particular event or a particular style of beer, style of food. And somebody came in like a month ago, and they were sitting outside in the beer garden, and they're like, oh, it's so cool to see like folks older than me and younger than me and people of color and people in the queer community. So I would say, like, if you talk to our day-to-day guests and regulars, it's important to us to like basically be a spot for everyone.
You are Jack of Jack's Bakery.
I'm Jack, yeah. We have the nice corner building.
It's beautiful.
Literally, we can call ourselves, we're the corner bakery, the neighborhood bakery.
I walked by here a couple weeks ago and I was like, what is this? It was very exciting to see a new business in town.
Yeah, so Jack has had a bakery in Bulgaria for decades. And when we decided to open one here, we wanted it to look a little different. It's Eastern European stuff. It's not what you can get in every other bakery. So we wanted it to look both modern, but also it has traditional stuff in it, but maybe not traditional for this neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we wanted it to stand out.
Did you know that Bloomfield currently has 150 businesses operating it? It also has more than 8,600 residents. And I found this really interesting. More than 100 of those residents are over 85 years old.
Now I'm 75.
Rich, you and we were talking a little bit about the changing neighborhood. What would you like to see come into Bloomfield?
Stores.
Stores, not just restaurants.
Stores, anything.
Yeah.
I was telling you, we had an Italian store up the street.
Yeah.
90-some years, the poor guy went out of business.
Oh my gosh.
Now, a lot of the family members died off, but still.
Sure. 97 years is a good run, though.
We have a lot of young people now, and it's a great thing.
Yeah.
50% of this store is younger people that come in now.
The spirit of Bloomfield is alive with fresh ideas, even in old spaces. Anybody remember Lombardozzi's? When we're talking about what this was, this was a part of, the Little Italy experience.
Oh, it was iconic, yeah.
Did you feel as though you had big shoes to fill in that way?
Yeah, no, 100%, I think. But we obviously tried to keep as much of the original aesthetic intact as we could, A, because it's beautiful, B, because we're on a budget.
Fair.
But it also, I think it harkens to this kind of golden age of restaurants that our aesthetic is sort of based around, this sort of nostalgia it's kind of steeped in. So honestly, it felt like it just clicked immediately.
With any community, there's always going to be ups and downs, and it's not just enough to survive, but you really want to thrive in the place that you've put down roots. And sometimes it takes the people who live in that place to make it happen.
So almost all of our employees are local. My main baker actually lives just behind our building.
So this is really a community bakery.
It is. It's the community that works here. It's the community that supports us. We tease that we're like bartenders because we know everybody's regular, their regular order.
Bloomfield, gosh, in my eyes, is sort of at the epicenter of like density in the city. It's very walkable. It's very much like we're sort of a hybrid of commercial and residential. So when we take a look at our regulars and our guests who walk in, they're our neighbors, they're our friends, there are food trucks that are nearby.
I remember coming to Little Italy days when I lived in the South Side, my neighborhood before Bloomfield, and just like wanting to kind of be a part of it.
So there aren't any other Bulgarian bakeries, and this is the first one that's been in the area for a while. I think there used to be a lot kind of going up and down the Mon Valley. But in this generation, this is the first one that's here. We know that there were bakeries all up and down Liberty Avenue. We've talked to some of the people who've been here for a while who said that there were 8 bakeries in 2 blocks and one on every corner. But they were Italian bakeries. They were different stuff, and so small bakeries are hard to keep open, and a lot of them have closed. If they were family run, especially, it's hard to keep things going.
In Bloomfield, it's not about outside developers coming in to change a community, but instead, it's about neighbors helping neighbors. And sometimes those neighbors look a little different.
It's a big change, but I never criticize the change. A lot of people are disappointed in seeing that the Italians are gone. and new people are moving in, but my father was an immigrant. He replaced somebody else. And they said, oh, here come those Italians.
Here come those Italians.
So I won't do that. We welcome everybody that's here. We do. We appreciate who's here.
We're trying to hold on to this era of Bloomfield.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I love the neighborhood no matter whether it's Little Italy and to be honest, it was Little Germany before it was Little Italy, back before the Italian immigrants moved in. And you know, I think we have some of the best Asian food in the city here on Liberty Avenue. So it's still Bloomfield, and that's why Little Italy Days, it's a celebration of Italian heritage, but it's really a celebration of this neighborhood.
We try really hard to listen to our neighbors and our regulars who want to see, you know, a particular event or a particular style of beer, a style of food. That sort of old to new, you know, it's changing rapidly.
I'm sort of the new guy coming in town, even though this has been here 41 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like, you know, but it's you know, but it's second generation, but they've been so accepting, so helpful.
A lot of what you see when you step into Trace is meant to sort of already be coexisting with old Bloomfield. People come in and say, why is it called Trace? And so this building that was built around 1900 as a brass and bronze foundry, you know, this is peak Pittsburgh. It's light manufacturing, it's steel. You can step inside of our building and actually trace back what it used to be in prior lives. Part of the lighting structure, the abstract, like asymmetrical white neons, are kind of meant to kind of throw it back to when this was a manufacturing space. You would have sparks fly through the air, and that was meant to kind of like mimic that era of Pittsburgh.
There was so many good parts about the space already. The building had really good bones. Lots of really interesting design features, like the iron grates were here, the glass that's etched. It was an L and we flipped it upside down to be an F to fit our needs.
I was gonna ask about that. That's so cool.
It's been amazing to be a part of this community and part of the Bloomfield businesses. There's less than there used to be, but we're just as strong as we ever have been.
I mean, what makes a neighborhood anyway? Bloomfield doesn't even have a church or a funeral home anymore.
My big joke is I'm probably going to live to be about 300 years old now because I can't get buried and I also have no church to get the last rites in.
Quite a few years back, Lydia Bastianich was here. And she walked in and she said, I was in the strip and they said, where should I go? And they said, you have to go to Bloomfield. And she said, okay. And they said, you'll go talk to Maria.
Yeah.
And that's all they said. And they said, does Maria have a last name? They said, yeah, she does. But if you go to Bloomfield and you ask somebody on the street to go talk to Maria, they'll know exactly who you mean and exactly where to go.
What an impact you've made. What an incredible impact. One meatball at a time.
One meatball at a time. I don't know. I get a little emotional.
Yeah. I mean, everybody I talk to says you have to come here. This is Little Italy. That has to feel good.
It does feel good.
Do you think St. Ravioli is saving Little Italy?
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think we're saving it, but we're trying to hold it in one spot, but also very open to all the different things. New restaurants, the chicken spot's gonna be open up down the street. So a lot of exciting things happening.
Why are community spaces like this, these organic places, these places that are taking the old and transforming it into the new, why is this so vital to moving Bloomfield forward?
I mean, honestly, it's just the more third spaces you have that aren't work, that aren't home, you actually get off your screens, you get off your phones, you get off your laptops, and you engage with real people. That's probably the most important thing to sort of keep the neighborhoods, you know, kind of crunchy, gritty vibe going, is that we need to like kind of bump into one another and like talk to one another. But we don't see them daily, but they plug in and plug out, and they're still kind of part of that day-to-day rotation. And that, like, I feel like that's really the only way forward.
But what does it mean to move forward? Is it the new corner bakery? Maybe it's the kid who got his start making ravioli on Instagram. Or maybe it's knowing someone is taking good care of a cherished space. Or the commitment to always use buttercream frosting. Or maybe it's the place that you can quench your thirst any time of day. Because what has always nourished this community is the people who want to make Bloomfield better, one meatball at a time.